Call the Owatonna City Council meeting to order for Tuesday, December 2nd, 2014. And with that, may we have roll call?
Councilmember Dodson.
Here.
Councilmember Thompson.
Here.
Schultz.
Here.
Burbank.
Here.
Rainey.
Here.
Svenby.
Here.
Abraham.
Here.
Mayor Kuntz.
Here.
We have 7 of the council and the mayor present.
Thank you. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'd like to welcome everyone here today, and with no additions to the agenda, we'll look for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion made.
Motion by Bill Thompson to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Brent Svenby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. The next one we will do is the oath of office for Council Member at Large Jeff Okerberg, and we'll go to Tom for that, our mayor.
Yep, if I can get you to come, stand here. And raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jeff Okerberg. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
The Constitution of the State of Minnesota.
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
The laws of the City of Owatonna.
the laws in the City of Owatonna.
And I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of the office of City Council Member at Large
discharge the duties of the office of City Council at Large
of the City of Owatonna,
of the City of Owatonna,
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
Congratulations, welcome aboard.
Please take your seat on the council.
Thank you.
And Bill, if I could get you to come up here, I would appreciate it. You may have one of these already, but we're going to give it a So here is your nameplate, Bill Thompson, city member at large.
Well-
So I don't think you had city member at large before, so now you got Ward 1 and city member at large, so.
Thank you.
We also got a plaque for you.
Oh,
The City of Owatonna, the mayor and the city council express sincere appreciation and deep gratitude to William Bill Thompson for his service as city council member at large, December 2014.
excellent.
Bill, thank you very, very much for
Thank you very
doing that. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill, and wish you well. With that, we move on to public hearings, and we will start with 1.5.1, proposed assessment, emergency repair to sanitary sewer service at 1213 South Elm Avenue, and that will go to Kyle.
Good evening. This is a request to assess a sanitary sewer service repair in the amount of $9,816 to the property at 1213 South Elm. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. And at 7:05, we'll open up the public hearing for anyone that wishes to speak on this issue. So if you do, please come to the microphone and sign in. Seeing none, we'll look for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
We have a motion by Nate to close the public hearing. Do you have a second? Second. Second by Greg Schultz. Any further discussion there? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved to close the public hearing. Now it's the council's turn to question or comment. Any questions or comments from the council?
Make a motion we approve.
We have a motion to approve resolution number 82-14 to adopt. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Okay, I'm going to go with Dave and Nate and Dave on this one. So with that, again, any further discussion?
Les?
Yes.
Just, I think it's a wonderful program when you start talking about impacting $10,000 on out-of-pocket money. It's a great program that we're able to put that on the tax roll.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Any further discussion here? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved to be put on the agenda, or the tax rolls. And with that, we will move on to 1.6 finance report, and I'll ask Greg to read that.
I'll give a recap of expenses. Checks written over $20,000 are $45,121 to Moulton and Bank, of which $10,088 was for the airport master plan, $1,557 was for the East Apron reconstruction, $33,475 was for the terminal pavement rehab, $33,183 to Bornicke Construction for the Northwest Industrial Park Pond, $21,000 to McCarthy Plumbing and Heating for the wastewater treatment plant boiler installation. Other expenditures of $198,065 for total expenditures presented for approval of $297,369.94.
Thank you for the report, Greg. What is the council's wishes?
Motion to pay the bills.
We have a motion by Kevin Rainey to pay the bills. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Nate Dotson. Any further discussion there? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving on to consent agenda items, which are minutes of meetings, license and permit requests, department reports, etc., all grouped into one motion. What is the council's wishes here?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Brent Svenby to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Rainey. Any further discussion on the consent agenda items? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving down to action items number 3.1.1, new license application, 3.2% off sale beer and cigarettes at Quick Trip number 237. And this will go to Chris.
Thank you, Les. We're asking for council approval of the applications received from Quick Trip for cigarette and tobacco products license and a 3-2 liquor license at their new location on Landmark Drive. The store is scheduled to open for business the week of January 12th, and the licenses for the sale of these items must be secured prior to the sale transactions. This will be Quick Trip's 5th location within the city, and tobacco and off-sale beer permits are currently held at their other 4 locations. There's not been any compliance violations during the last 12 years at any of their facilities. The new licenses will be effective January 1st, 2015, until the next license renewal period. The tobacco license will expire December 31, 2015, and the 3-2 liquor license will expire June 30th, 2015. Budget impact, license fee are $150 for the tobacco permit, $100 for the off-sale beer permit. They have already been received. The required documentation with insurance verification are also on file. Staff would recommend approval.
Thank you, Chris. Questions from the council?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Greg Schultz to approve. Do you have a second?
Second.
I was the motion.
Motion by Nate, second by Greg. Any further discussion there? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving down to resolutions number 83-14, advance funds for approved municipal state aid street projects, and this will go to Kyle.
Good evening. Our state aid money, we are able to borrow against future years to do projects. Based on our anticipated workload for 2015, we're expecting a need of an additional $375,000 and beyond our normal allotment of $1.2 million, and this will tie up part of the 2016 allocations. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Greg this time, right?
Yes.
Move to approve. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave Burbank. Any further discussion there? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving down to Resolution 81-14, concurrence with OPU for Four Seasons Center operations, and we'll start with Chris.
Yes, and I think I'm going to handle this item because City attorney's having a little throat issues, so basically what we're asking for is approval of the attached agreement and also a resolution. Give you some background on this item. Since 1999, Steele County and the city have entered into a number of agreements pertaining to the Four Seasons Center regarding contributed services. Following the final payment of the bonds in 2012, which funded the second sheet of ice, the county and the city have continued to adopt agreements for the mutual benefit of both the city and the county. In October of 2014, the Owatonna Public Utilities adopted a resolution authorizing up to $100,000 of contributed services, which was based on the following rationale. Approximately 77% of the total Four Seasons use was determined to be by city residents. Average yearly costs for utilities were approximately $130,000. 77% of that sum is $100,000. Commission determined that among the benefits to the city residents is reduced usage fees. The OPU Commission will review the provision on an annual basis. So in accordance and on recommendation of our city attorney, council will also take up a resolution concurring with the resolution passed by OPU. The renewal agreement includes a provision for the county's contribution of $10 for each non-city county resident who participates in a city park and rec program, states the ice time to be made available for youth hockey programs, and allows the city use of the center when not in use by the county, and finally provides for insurance and mutual indemnification. So there is no new budget impact, and staff would recommend approval.
Thank you, Chris. Questions from the council? What is the council's wishes?
Motion to approve Resolution 81-14.
We have a motion by Dave Burbank to approve Resolution 8114. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Brent Svenby. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving down to contract and agreement 3.5.1, which is the contract agreement, and I think Chris has explained it already. What is the council's wishes?
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Greg Schultz to approve the contract. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Kevin Rainey. Any further discussion there?
I do have one question.
Yes.
Prior to 1999, what was our agreement with the county, or how did we collaborate on that? Any idea?
I don't.
Before 1999, it was a single sheet, recall, and at that time,
There was.
I believe it was simply the county operating it.
So we weren't involved.
I don't believe so.
I can probably give you a little bit of history on it, is that it was the single sheet of ice there. The second sheet was added to a fundraiser, participation of the school, the county, the city, and donations to build that second sheet of ice. And the city's contribution was contributed services. So that's how that got started.
So we didn't do contributed services at all prior to the second?
No, we did not. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. We'll move on to miscellaneous items. Request to defer special assessments for age 65 plus or retired by virtue of permanent or total disability, and this will go to Chris.
Thank you, Les. The city has a special assessment policy which provides for a deferment of special assessments for those persons who are 65 years of age or older, who are retired by virtue of disability, permanent and total disability, as long as they meet certain requirements. The applicants must be the owner and occupant of the property. They have to meet annual income limits that exceed the very low income limits as determined by HUD. The council would, if the council does approve the deferment, a lien will be filed against the property, and the assessment will be deferred plus interest. The assessment will become due upon the occurrence of any of the following items: the death of the owner, if the spouse is not eligible, sale or transfer or subdivision of the property, or loss of homestead status of the property. So determination by the council requiring, or any other determination that would require immediate or partial payment, you know, in the event that they won $1 million or something. So staff has reviewed all the documentation provided and has determined that this individual meets the necessary requirements. We only had one request received, and the 30-day period to file for this deferment has now expired. So the budget impact, there's no monetary loss as it is a deferment. It does not waive the assessment, and we will accrue interest as well. So staff would recommend council approval of the deferment of special assessments of $4,511.35 for parcel number 17-178-0110.
Thank you, Chris. Questions from the council? Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Jeff Okerberg to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Nate Dotson. Any further discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving down to 3.6.2, letter of intent to purchase land, United Properties Investments. And this will go to Troy.
United Property Investments is proposing a letter of intent to purchase 32.84 acres of city-owned industrial land just north of New Highway 14 in the industrial park. The letter of intent is for 12 months and allows the property to be exclusively marketed for a potential project. Cushman and Wakefield Northmark will be marketing the property for United Properties to try to find a tenant for the site. If the marketing efforts are successful, the city would enter into a purchase agreement for the sale of the property with United Properties. If a tenant is not found, the letter of intent would end in 12 months. This has been presented to the Economic Development Authority, which recommended approval at their November 19th meeting. There is no cost to the city to enter into the letter of intent. If the city enters into a purchase agreement, the sale price has been established at 80 cents per square foot. Proceeds of any land sale would go back into the EDA land account to reimburse the expenses incurred for the purchase of the land and the construction of the utilities to the site. So staff would recommend council approval of this letter of intent as recommended by the EDA.
Thank you, Troy. Any questions from the council? Greg.
They aren't paying any option price to, or I mean, an option payment to take the property off the year or off the market for a year.
There is earnest money upon execution of a purchase agreement of $25,000, but this is basically what we're getting is their expenses for marketing the property. And this is really something for an outstate city to have a metro broker and a metro developer to be marketing our property to companies in the metro area and outside the state is really something that we couldn't get on our own. We would have to pay for that sort of exposure, and it's something that we've been really striving for, is to get more exposure to our industrial land. And so really the payment is they're going to have expenses incurred for the marketing materials and the marketing effort that they have to try to get a tenant for that property.
Thank you. Any other questions? What is the council's wishes?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Greg Schultz to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Rainey. Any further discussion here? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving down to 3.16, 6.3, tabled proposed assessment for 2014 improvements. And I understand that there is an agreement, but they aren't ready to present it, so we will table it to, I will look for a motion to table it to December 16th meeting.
Motion to table.
We have a motion by Kevin to table to December 16th. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Brent Svenby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been tabled. Now we'll move down to public comments, and if anyone wishes to speak, please come to the microphone, and I'll give you 2 minutes. Please sign in and
Roger Wasik, and I have something here that I had brought back from March of 2013, and I have given a bit of bad advice, and Greg and council had told me just to hand it off to Chris Busey, and it came back finally after a year or so. I'll just read what I've got here. It's one page, so it should be under 2 minutes. Subject, city policy on chemical use. To Greg Schultz, Fort Worth Alderman, Les Abraham, Alderman at Large, and I had Bill Thompson, Alderman at Large, but I crossed his name out and going to pass it on to Jeff here, Alderman at Large. I've attached a copy of my letter from 8 March 2013 to Chris Busey, City Administrator. Also attached a copy of an email response from 30th of January 2014 from Rick Smith, Golf Course Superintendent. And I want to please read these before you read my response. Okay, I'm just going to read what I have for comments here. Before I comment on Rick's response, I want to ask a couple questions. Is there a written city policy on fertilizer, herbicide, insecticide, and fungicide use on city, school district, and county property? Should golf courses be treated differently than parks? Is there a written policy on mosquito control? Rick starts by saying insecticides, herbicides, fungicides are used to protect the health of turf, trees, and other living things on the golf course or parks. This sounds like a statement right out of a chemical company's advertising brochure. Let me restate that sentence. We use chemicals to kill things to keep other things healthy. Sounds a bit ridiculous to me. Rick goes on to say the city of Owatonna currently has 7 individuals, including myself, who are licensed and trained to apply pesticides. I suspect Rick mentions training and licensing as testimony to how safe, or at least how safely applied, these chemicals are. Okay, then driver's training and licensing make me a safe driver. The fact remains these are chemicals designed to kill things and only necessary to maintain a golf course and country club style lawn. Rick goes on to say the pesticides we use can be applied to any homeowner, and many can be bought at any local hardware store. Yes, we have a lot of people that want a golf course and country club style lawn, but I don't have to subsidize homeowners' use of killer chemicals. Killer chemicals that have damaged my and my neighbors' gardens. Killer chemicals whose stench has occasionally driven me indoors in the summer. These killer chemicals are not necessary to maintain are only necessary to maintain a golf course and country club style lawn and have nothing to do with protecting our environment. Golf course and country club style lawns are lawns that are arguably environmental wastelands. And I would argue this with anybody. They are environmental wastelands. My final question is, why is my property tax dollars subsidizing golf course and country club style lawns? Hopefully I won't have to wait another year for a response that should come from Owatonna's Park and Recreation Director. I will volunteer to help write or revise the city policy on chemical use, a city policy that needs to be written to protect the health of the environment and its residents, and not the health of the chemical companies.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to council comments, and we will start with Nate.
All right, well, welcome Jeff to the council. Good to have you here, and I will thank Bill for his service. It's a pleasure to succeed him in the first ward, and it was a pleasure to work with him, albeit shortly, as an at-large council person. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you. Jeff.
Thank you for allowing me to be on the council. Thanks for everybody supporting me in the election. Thank you for Bill for being a mentor, and thank you for doing what you did for the couple months that you did. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Greg.
Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
And I guess I'm going to reiterate everything, but thanks, Bill. You brought a lot the last few months, had some good questions, and we appreciated that, and we look for the same from Jeff.
Thank you. Dave.
Thank you, Bill, for your consideration and taking the post. I know you had other things you could have been doing, but you're very civic-minded, and you kind of jumped on it. And welcome to, I know I'm by Okie, have to be formal, Mr. Okerberg, another one of Owatonna's former finest on board, so good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Brent?
Just thank Mr. Thompson again for serving. It was a pleasure again. I started out 9 years ago serving with Bill in the council, and it's a pleasure in working with you again, Bill, and welcome, Jeff. Looking for 4 years with you.
And then we'll move on to the mayor. Tom?
A couple things. The Park and Rec Department had its first annual Owatonna photo contest, and they announced some winners. So I'll hold them up one at a time. I don't know if they can zoom in on the picture, but the first one is Beauty in the Parks, Jennifer Sprinks. Got that one? Next one is Highlights of Owatonna, and that is Patty Abrahams-Brecky. Next one is People's Choice, and that's Debbie McNitch. And the last one is Youth, and that's Nicholas. So just a nice program. I'm sure they'll have it again next year. It was entries between July 21st and October 31st, and those are the winners. The other thing I want to mention is that on Monday, December 15th from 5 to 7 at Mayo Clinic, they will be doing the open house on 26th Street Northwest. And it's from 24th Avenue Northwest on the west to County Road 8 on the east. So if you live along that, if you have some interest in 26th Avenue, County Road 34, Monday, December 15th is an open house to learn more about it and voice your concerns.
Thank you. Thank you. Chris?
Nothing.
Thank you. And again, Bill, thank you for the time that you've spent on the council, both prior to and the last few months. I did enjoy working with you and look forward to working with you some more. So, and Jeff, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the club, and I'm sure that you will be learning a lot within the next few months. So, again, thank you. And with that, Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn is by Kevin Rainey. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Nate Dotson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.